Welcome to the Bioaz Symbiotic Podcast. And this is the third in our animal health series. I'm joined with me today by Maryann Thexton, who is the founder and CEO of Bioaz, and she's going to continue my education in all things gut health, microbiome, and most importantly, symbiotics. So for the first two podcasts in our animal health series, we really focus on the impact of diet and microbiome in our animals, right? And the term dysbiosis was featured a number of times. Can't spell it, but I need to know what it is. So in this podcast, I really wanted to deep dive into exactly what this means. So Maryann, let's start at the beginning. What is dysbiosis?
Thanks, Ian. Huge question. I know we don't have a lot of time. So in a nutshell, dysbiosis refers to a state where the balance of beneficial organisms and pathogens or unwanted organisms that cause illness and disease is out of balance. So you have more of the baddies and less of the goodies in what is a finite real estate of the gut. So that, in a short sentence, is dysbiosis.
Got it. So what causes dysbiosis in your animals?
Look, there's a lot of different things that can cause dysbiosis. Something as simple as stress in your animals can cause dysbiosis because the acids that are produced as a result of stress will kill the beneficial microbes in the organ in the gut. So stress, we've talked about diet in previous podcasts, so lack of access to beneficial ones, or particularly illnesses where the unhealthy and unwanted microbes flourish and they produce metabolites that cause illness. And that's a self-fulfilling downhill cycle because the illness then challenges the beneficial microbes, and so the pathogens or the baddies get more and more traction in the gut. So diet, overall health, and also stress are a big factor.
Big factors. Is there anything else in terms of treatments that we may give animals that may cause dysbiosis, for example, like antibiotics, of course, of antibiotics or anything like that?
Yeah, well, definitely. And often doctors will suggest that patients go on a probiotic course after taking antibiotics, but vets and in animal health, it's not such a prominent piece of advice. I think that, of course, antibiotics are to kill the bad microbes that we're talking about that are causing illness, but they're not discretionary, so they'll kill everything in the gut. So by giving your animals, particularly a symbiotic, that will help the beneficial microbes restore and take control of the gut.
Well, that actually was going to be my next question. How does this symbiotic support your gut microbiome? But actually, just elaborate on that, because you spoke about the introduction of probiotics, but how does it symbiotic in totality help?
Yeah, thanks, Ian. So, we absolutely believe that it's not just repopulating the gut with good microbes. That's important, but they need the fuel to actually ferment and flourish and multiply in the gut. So you've got to actually provide that beneficial fibres that we can't digest, but the microbes in our gut can. And that's when they do their magic. If they've got the right dietary fibres to ferment, then they'll produce the metabolites that keep us healthy and well, and also the metabolites that knock off the bad bacteria and provide a healthier landscape for indigenous bacteria. So it's a complicated science, but it's fascinating.
It certainly is. So once you've actually restored the balance to the microbiome, what then do you need to do in terms of maintenance?
Well, obviously, diet and exercise for your animals, keeping them at the right weight, and obviously, again, minimising stress. But I think we touched on it or covered it in some of our earlier podcasts where, because our animals are no longer in a natural environment that they would have been if they weren't pets or they weren't horses that we ride or whatever the bond between us and our animals are, they don't have unfettered access to the beneficial microbes, or even we may not be feeding the right dietary fibres. So maintenance is critical in urban environments and unnatural environments. So just supplementing or buying a food that's already got a symbiotic ingredient in it is a really easy way of doing it.
Awesome. So that's dysbiosis. Really appreciate your time, Maryann. That concludes our podcast for today. Please share, like, comment, and if there's any questions that you've got, please let us know at info@bioaz.com. Thanks.